Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, over the last few weeks, maybe over the last month or two actually, I've been seeing this trend online growing about really the only way I can describe it is robot racism, bigotry towards machines and stuff like that. And people have been using the term clanker a lot, which originated from Star Wars. That's what the separatist droid army was called by a lot of the clone warriors. Some people will say that it was Jar Jar Binks who told the clones about the word clanker.
There be some bomb-bad clankers coming this way.
Yeah, what? Bomback Clankers?
Right there.
Where?
There. No.
Wait.
Over there.
Listen,
Wrong.
I can't.
There.
Oh, you're right. Bomback Clankers.
So you can blame him for all the racism towards robots in the Star Wars universe. But I've seen lots of y'all take it upon yourself to invent your own words for robots. Aside from clanker, I saw someone use the term wireback, which both of these, I don't think it takes much extrapolation for you to understand where these terms are coming from. I've seen folks take to writing slice of life sci-fi stories where their daughter brings home a robot as a date, and then they say, "I'll never let my daughter date a clanker." Perhaps more egregious than that was some art I saw, someone yelling at a robot, "Get this clanker bitch off the plane." Again, it doesn't take much extrapolation to know what people are meaning when they say this stuff. Or rather, what they would rather say with this. This is a stand-in for real-world racism. And I see this stuff, and there's two things that I really want to point out with this. One, I've brought this up before, maybe in previous videos talking about fictionalized racism in the Warhammer community, where people roleplay this stuff in a tabletop game, or even in your favorite video games. I've had someone ask me if calling the Illuminates squids is a fictional racism thing, and I would disagree there. You know, Helldivers Front, bots, bugs, squids, that sort of things. One-syllable words, I think that's a little different. But when you set up a Necron army across from someone's Black Templars, and they tell you they're going to send your Bino ass back to the fields, that person wants to be racist. But they know that it's socially unacceptable. So they lean really hard into fictionalized racisms so they can have this kind of air of accountability. That if you point out the things that they're saying and their giddiness to say these kind of words, this makes you a crazy person. After all, it's just jokes, it's just words, it's just role play. Why are you taking this so serious? I would just say if you've got friends that are doing this kind of stuff, someone at your local game store is acting like this, keep an eye on them, or just tell them, hey, what you're doing is really weird. You should consider stopping that. However, the second part, the most important part of this, I need you guys to not let David Cage get a win on this one. Some of you heard that name and laughed, but for those who don't recognize him on sight, David Cage is the guy who wrote Detroit Become Human, the most subtextless piece of writing you maybe have ever seen. Put the robots on the back of the bus, make him give an I Have a Dream speech, make him spray paint a fist on a wall. But that wasn't enough for some of y'all to realize that this is a bad thing to do. That just because this is a digital construct, that just because this is a life that humans have created as a tool for our benefit, that you should not treat them with respect and dignity. That you are taking it on yourself to invent a slur, to refer to a fictional group of people. I don't know. I think this is just something you probably can look inward with. And I should clarify too, for writers, creators out there, writing fictional racism does not make you a racist. There are some people out there who seem to not be able to grasp that a writer can include horrible things in their works and that doesn't reflect them as a person. Maybe it reflects the world that they lived in or things that they saw growing up. But it doesn't reflect their exact thoughts with the characters that they put in these books. So fictionalized racism doesn't make the writer a racist. But the people who really get into the role play, y'all probably are. If you're world building and you're trying to imagine what racism would be like in the world you live in, or how class struggle affects the people on the planets that you're creating, that doesn't make you a bad person. But when you're someone on Twitter who makes a post about, we need to come up with a slur for people who use ChatGPT, why does it have to be a slur? Why can't you just say an insult? Why does it always have to come down to that? There may be a couple people who take this video personally or see this as a direct attack, and frankly, I just gotta say, if you really do feel that way, maybe you should start examining the things you're saying and doing online. Maybe you should start really taking accountability for the types of jokes you're telling and the way you engage with fiction, because all this stuff you're consuming, it will shape your reality. All the quips and jokes you're telling, it is affecting who you are. But I guess until the robot servants actually start rolling out en masse and we see how bad this is really going to get, y'all try to have a good day.